like to welcome you to Shop Dog, where you can learn with me and wrench. I'm excited today to be, changing the oil, and that's going to be the episode that we're dealing with today, is just changing the oil. And yes, I'm excited to do it because it's been in there a little while and a few track days, and so I'm anxious to get fresh fluids in the car so that I know that it's healthy and happy and will last me a long time. It's important stuff for me. And what we're going to be dealing with is the 04 Viper behind me that you see. I know it's probably simple basic stuff to most people, but just thought I would share the experience with you. So if it is new to you, maybe you can learn something. Maybe you'll get comfortable to do it yourself if you are not already. What I'm going to be utilizing for this process is a couple of safety jack stands. I actually am going to use a couple of floor jacks instead of jacking one side and going to the other side and jacking that up. Try to jack it up more in unison. Just make it a little faster. And I'm fortunate enough to have my dad here with me today. I'm blessed to have my mom and dad living close to me, so I get to spend a lot of time with my dad, which is awesome to me. So he'll be helping me some today in the process of jacking and a few other things on the car. So I'm gonna let's go ahead and get started. I'll switch the angle position for you, so make it easier on me for sure. And you are able to get access to the filter from underneath the front of the vehicle, so you don't access it through the top, and with the way it's oriented, it's not going to leak oil too bad, which is nice. There are some vehicles that the way they're positioned, they're going to be leaking oil, or dripping, I should say. I mean, obviously all of them drip. It's just this is a little more controllable versus if it was tilted a little to the side or something. And I know it looks super black, but this is actually the Joe Gibbs, and it comes in actual greenish color. So it's a dark color to begin with. I think it's the GP 1, I believe is what it's called. And I'm just going to make sure that the seal did come off with the filter. Sometimes they can get stuck or pull off, and then you've got a dual seal, and then you can run into issues that way because of that. And I believe I said earlier, but I do run the Mopar filters That's just my preference. Everybody may have a little different preference, but that is my preference. I am going to take a little bit of the oil and put it on the seal. I've heard both ways, but that is just something that I do. Well, that's good. I know you probably can't see on your end, but at least on my end I can still see the greenish tint to it. So even though I was getting rich fuel conditions at wide open throttle because of a little belt slippage, doesn't look like I washed the oil down too bad. So that's basically it for that. You go ahead and just tighten down, not too tight. I think it's 3/4 of a turn. Once you kind of get hand tightened, I'm gonna go ahead and get another rag, wipe my hands off a little bit, and switch positions. Now that the filter is all tightened up, we can go topside and add oil. Woohoo! All right, topside. I guess I just want to let you take a look here. This is what I was running in it last time. Actually, I'd run a couple of times, but it was GP1. And I have had several of the Joe Gibbs racing oils in this. Started with the HR1. I've run XP6, GP1. I am going to, and the GP1 is a synthetic blend that I was running in it. And so I wanted to go ahead and switch to full synthetic. HR1 was not full synthetic either. It wasn't synthetic, but I'm gonna run the FR50, which is a full synthetic, and this is a 550. And this, according to what they're saying, looks like it's got a lot of good wear protection in it stuff, and it was specifically designed for the Ford Coyote engine, a modified Coyote engine. So I'm thinking if it's good enough for that engine, it ought to be pretty good for this one too. You can take a look here in the front. Let me try to move this out of your way. This is where we're going to be adding the oil. It is on the left valve cover, so driver's side. Here is where you add the oil. That's where we're going to be adding the 10 quarts of oil in this system. Well, approximately 10 quarts of oil. And then after I do that, then I'll do a quick startup of the car, crawl underneath, make sure that I don't have any leaks. And then we'll be done with the process of at least changing the engine oil. And 10 quarts gets me to, and I had already wiped it off, and you cannot see that probably very well, I'm not sure, but it gets me right to the top of the full mark. I did not fill the oil filter with oil first before I put it on. That would have used up a little bit, so I'm sure once I actually start it, which I'm getting ready to do, once I go ahead and start the vehicle, then I'll end up checking it again, but it should be just a little bit low. That was actually right on the very top of the full mark. So that's where 10 quarts get you. All right, it is start time. I'm just gonna check and make sure the oil pressure goes up. I will go ahead and recheck the dipstick level just to make sure, and then I'll be crawling around underneath to look just to make sure there aren't any oil leaks from the drain plug or the oil filter. I'd like to thank you for tuning in today. So after end up starting up the vehicle, then that's going to end up being the end of the episode of changing the oil in a Dodge Viper. But I love this sound. They are awesome cars. The oil pressure. Well, I'm not sure if you can see it. Maybe that works now. There's the oil pressure gauge. Definitely has really good pressure. And it always has. And I realize that that's 550 oil too, but even your lower viscosity oil has always had a lot of really had good pressure with the engine, and that is thanks to Exotic Engine. They do a jam-up job. Thanks so much, Kevin Singleton. Your crew did an awesome job, so thank you. This thing has been bulletproof, and just couldn't be happier with what you ended up doing for me. So that is it, and this thing is a blast. I hope you have a blessed day, everybody.